Hello guys, welcome to Data Warriors channel. In this session, we are going to discuss about semicolon in SQL. What basically we are doing whenever we are writing SQL queries. So at the end of SQL queries, we are always using the semicolon. So why we are using that semicolon and what is the is it necessary to use that semicolon after each and every SQL query that we are going to see. So why we have to use semicolon and those things I think we will try to understand with this. So first thing is that semicolon is mandatory in some of the RDBMS software. Okay, so semicolon is mandatory in some of the RDBMS software, and then second thing we will try without semicolon. So are we able to, if we are writing some SQL queries, so are we able to execute those without a semicolon, or how RDBMS software will treat that? Okay, that we will see now. So okay, so here these are the tables, okay, which we are using as part of our practice. So now we will retrieve data from a customers table. Okay, so now I have written a select star or asterisk from a customers. So reading all data from a customers table, all records from customers table. I am running that along with the semicolon. I am running. Okay, so it is running fine and we are getting the result as a 91 records. These are the fields: customer ID, customer name, contact name, address, city, postal code and country. Okay, so without semicolon, if I will try, then I am removing the semicolon. Let me execute that. Then also it is running fine without semicolon, and then we are getting the same result. So as we discussed our first and second point, semicolon is mandatory in some of the RDBMS softwares. So and without semicolon also we tried. So here semicolon is not mandatory, that we understood based on this. And then another thing is that we have to see why semicolon we use in a SQL. So what is the requirement to use the semicolon? Why we are using the semicolon? So that is the thing, to separate multiple SQL statements or queries and execute them one by one. Okay, let us consider if we are writing a number of queries, number of SQL queries within a single SQL script in a editor. Okay, and then that time, like if you have to execute all at the same time, and then we will separate those by the semicolon, and then one by one the queries will get executed in that flow. So let me show you that example here in the my SQL workbench. So how to install MySQL workbench and those things we will see in our upcoming sessions. I will show that. So here ecom is one of the database I have, and inside that two tables are there: department table and employee table. So first I will write a query: select star from employees. Okay, I will read data from employees table, and another query I am writing. So in the employees, we have, okay, sorry, in the departments we have the columns department ID, department name. So I want to read the department name. I'm writing it from departments. Okay, now if I'm removing this semicolon, because in the single SQL script we have written more than like one or two statements SQL queries. I'm removing this, then we are getting this error: select is not valid at this position. Okay, because this editor is not able to understand like where where that exact SQL query is getting terminated or ending. So if I'm running these both, so we are getting the error. So you have an error in your SQL syntax, and then if I'm adding the semicolon to separate multiple SQL statement, then the error is going out. And then if we are executing, running this, so first it is executing this. So we saw that in between that result of all details from the employees table, and then select department name. Now final result what we are getting, the last query, department name from the departments table. So this way, to separate multiple SQL statement, we have to use the semicolon. It is best practice. We will use a semicolon during writing our SQL queries. Okay, guys. Thank you. We will see you in the next session.